Hello, once again, my lovely people. My name is Oge and I'm reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria. In today's video, I want to show you, first of all, an update of my plants at 3 weeks. And then I'm going to be trying a bucket that I reconstructed and I'm going to be carrying you guys along. So stay with me while we make all of this happen.
Don't you sit there, baby? Come and grab my body.
So this flowers, this is my pepper is about 1 month old, or no, about 6 weeks old, and this is the bucket that I reconstructed. I'll be linking the description, I'll be linking the video where I did that construction to this video. So be sure to check it out, guys. These are other plants. We have banana, green beans, green peas, tomatoes, peppers. This is green peas and it's doing really great. The green beans, regular beans, brown beans actually, and it's also doing very great. I have some okra here and more curry leaves, more curry leaves, and then more curry leaves. Some of them are not doing as good as expected, but eventually they'll be getting new homes and they'll be much better. This is some watermelon going here, and then another watermelon right there. All of these plastic bags I started with, but they didn't turn out well because they don't have I didn't make a proper drainage for them. So we're going to get started right now and move all of these into their new home. Of course, not all of it, because this is so many plants in the nursery and I don't have enough space to accommodate all of them. Like I've been saying before, this just started and it just happened impromptu. It's not something that I really plan to do, but over time you're going to be seeing how it evolves. So I'm first of all filling this bucket with some soil. This soil is a very rich soil and is well is well drained. Is a good soil, like humus soil with some fertilizer already in it. And I have my helper here helping me out. I have some earthworms in there. I don't know if you can see that, and that's a good sign that the soil is good, because eventually they're going to be aerating the plant. They're going to be aerating the soil, which in turn is going to help the plant get aerated, and all the nutrients, both oxygen and of course the nutrients, are going to be circulating properly. So let's get this ball rolling. I have here more worms and I'm going to be twisting the plastic container so that I can get the plant out of the nursery and then planting. I just put it right through this hole, and that is what it's going to be like. I'm going to be repeating this process for every other plant that I have. In another season, I'm going to be using this bucket for onions, because this is a bit, the plants I have here are a bit too many. In fact, they're not a bit too many, they are too many for the crop. So I'm going to be using this for onions eventually, but in the meantime, let's just enjoy this while we roll. So I've just turned this plant from the paint bucket into this bowl, just to get the roots separated properly so that I can get the plants and of course their roots out, so that I will be transplanting them. More soil into the bucket, more soil. I'm making a hole into the through the hole in the bucket, and then of course through the soil, and just putting in the plant there. And it's as simple as that. As long as you have a good soil that is rich in nutrients, then, and you don't break the roots when you're trying to transplant, you're good to go. This particular one broke when we're trying to move the plant from the paint buckets out. So you want to be careful when we are doing something like this so that you don't get things damaged. But my peppers are doing very well. Again, I'm planting this time around. This is okra. If I'm doing another cultivation, I'm going to be moving okra to its own bucket, like a small bucket, maybe a small bucket, and then it's going to just be on its own because it requires. Perhaps I will not even be planting okra anymore, because if I'm planting okra, I have to plant a lot of it to be able to have good harvest. And because I don't have space, I'm going to be doing more vegetables going forward. I'll be carrying you guys along while I make that happen. This experience is really helping me to learn from my mistakes and, of course, my experiences. In another farm planting again, I'm going to be using okra on this bucket, and I'm going to be planting more leafy greens and things that I buy more often, because that's really the idea, to save money on your daily items. Okra is not like it's what I eat every day. Besides, I'll need a lot of the plants to be able to have good harvest. But with a small space, you can plant plenty peppers, and of course maybe things like lettuce and ugu, of course, things like that. So guys, if you're doing something like this, you want to maximize the little space you have and make best use of the value, get the best value from whatever you're doing. So the same thing I'm going to be doing in every other hole that is in this bucket, and the rest is going to just, and then we're going to just continue from there. I'm also harvesting or pulling out some of the plants from the nursery. With this, with the help of a knife, it's easier, and if it's wet, it's better. It's much easier when it's wet, because the soil is already clustered around the roots. You just want to slightly break or slightly press on the root system, which has a lot of soil on it, before planting, so that way it's easy for them to break apart. But if you don't do that, it's still okay, because eventually the roots will find their way through to the soil. That's what I mean. And then my beans. And then we're going to be planting the rest on top of the bucket. I know this bucket is too small for all of these crops, but like I said, this is circumstantial. In my next planting season, I wouldn't do this. So subscribe to my channel if you've not yet subscribed, so you can see how things go eventually. Okay, how beautiful does that look, guys? Please drop your comments below. Let me know what your thoughts about this is, and let me know if you like it by giving me a thumbs up, and then don't forget to share with your friends so that they can also benefit from this video. And then I have my tomato plants, and I'm also transplanting. I'm going to make this a king and put it only one in this bucket. Yes, by the way, I've drilled holes in the bottom of the bucket too. And we're good to go. Here, because of space, I'm going to be planting more than one, but really it should be more, just one per bucket, because it is a small bucket. If it's a larger bucket, you can have two. But because the bigger the bucket and the ability for the roots of the crops to have more room to expand and grow, then there's more room. There's a greater opportunity for the plants to bear more fruit and then do better. So the bigger the bucket, the more the bigger the plant and the more the fruits. Okay, not necessarily the bigger the plant, but the more the fruits. Right? I hope you understand me, guys. Okay guys, we're done and we're going to be watering the plants. In the meantime, I'm just washing my hands and then we're going to be watering all of these crops. Okay, so I have my manure still in that bag. I bought it with this other soil. I'm supposed to mix them all together before I start planting, but now the bag has turned and they're all on the floor. I've not had time to put them all together. Anyways, let's just get watering. This handle may seem to be a little bit of problem for me, but I think because I won't be moving buckets around a lot, I'll just manage it here. I may need to move around or transplant any crop eventually. This is tomatoes. They are still small. I may transplant them. Let's see how it goes because this bucket is too small for them. And then this one, I'll leave it here. We'll do a comparison. My ugu, this one is still doing very well. This one also. However, this one, I don't know why. Because they were all planted on the same day. I think I didn't allow the bucket to drain well. But I'm going to be adding some nutrients to the soil today. I made a whole DIY fertilizer. We'll be fertilizing this and I'll be carrying along. That will be in a separate video. Let me just finish up with this one and water all my plants so that they can get started. Okay, I'm watering the plants and I'm just making sure that I put as much water as possible so that I can get to the roots and feed the soil properly. Because this is a plastic container, there's need to water up to 3 times in a week. Regular soil, I mean like soil in on the ground, regular ground, because the ground has tendency to have more water stored there, you may not need as much watering. Of course, when it's rainy season, you don't really even need to water your plant. But because they're in the plastic, you need to water them for at least 2 to 3 times every week. So bear that in mind if you're going to be planting your crops in containers. So if you want to make your life easier, you want to get like a hose that takes you to where the tap is, that links to the tap, so it's easier for you to water your plants. I'm also trying to water the sides where they have the hose. A watering can would have helped out in this case, and of course, or a spray bottle. But I don't have that right now. I will eventually get one. I'm also watering my ugu plants. They are doing very well, except that one of them is like the bucket doesn't have enough, the soil doesn't have enough nutrient, and I'm going to be supplying that. And I'll be letting you guys know how it goes. Those ones that are hanging are not doing well like I expected at all, but I will eventually find out what the reason is and I'll be fixing that also. Guys, I hope you're able to learn 1 or 2 things from this video that I've shared with you guys. I really hope it is useful to you. Please let me know if it is useful to you by dropping your comments below and then giving me a thumbs up if you like this video. And then feel free to share with your friends. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to support me and then click on the bell icon so that I can get notified anytime. So you can get notified anytime I share a new post. Guys, I do videos of healthy living recipes, home 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 and garden, and many things about your home lifestyle, modest lifestyle, budgeting, and then managing your finances and much more. So guys, if you want anything related to this video, if you want content related to this video, you want to subscribe and then support me by subscribing, and then I will be going on this amazing journey together, guys. So I'll be seeing you in another video. Until then, stay safe, be good, and then bye.